Why did you leave me? A forgotten alien warship confronts its human pilot. Secrets inside are revealed. The asteroid field stretched for hundreds of kilometers, a silent graveyard of broken ships and drifting debris. Marcus piloted his small exploration craft through the wreckage, the dim lights of distant stars reflecting off the jagged rocks. He had returned to this place for one reason, an old mistake he could not forget. Years ago, he had abandoned a ship here. Not just any ship, but one unlike anything humanity had ever seen. It was alive, or at least it had been alive in some way. At the time, during a desperate battle, fear and orders had made him flee. Now older, battle-worn, and haunted by memory, he returned hoping to find answers, or maybe to make peace. As he drifted deeper into the field, his sensors picked up an anomaly. The readings were faint at first, almost like a heartbeat buried under layers of rock and radiation. Marcus squinted at the console. "Impossible," he muttered. "It should be dead. Completely dead." The craft's autopilot adjusted slightly, nudging him closer to the source. He passed twisted metal and shattered hulls, the skeletons of ships long forgotten by time. Then he saw it, a sleek, angular shape, half buried in the shadows of a massive asteroid. Its surface shimmered faintly, reflecting the starlight, almost like it was breathing. Marcus's heart raced. He remembered the day he left this ship. The battle had been chaotic. Alien warships had torn through human lines with ease. He had been assigned to pilot the alien vessel, an experimental craft humanity had captured in the early years of the war. It had intelligence, strategies, even a consciousness. But when the order came to retreat, he had jumped in his shuttle and left, abandoning it to the chaos. Now seeing the ship again, guilt pressed down like a weight on his chest. "I didn't know if it would survive. I thought I was saving lives," he whispered, as if speaking to the wreck itself could erase decades of regret. As he maneuvered closer, the ship's surface began to glow softly, tiny lines of light crawling along its hull. Then, to his shock, a voice echoed in his mind. "Why did you leave me?" Marcus froze. His hands shook on the controls. He checked the comms, expecting a prank or some malfunction. Nothing. The voice came again, clearer this time, almost alive. "Why did you leave me, Marcus?" He swallowed hard. I didn't. I had to survive." The ship's glow intensified, and holographic images began projecting around his cockpit. Battle scenes, alien faces, explosions, memories not his own but somehow tied to him. He realized the ship was showing him its recollections, memories of a war he had been part of, yet had never truly understood. The images showed alien pilots, noble and brave, fighting alongside humanity in secret. They had sacrificed everything, trusting humans to carry the fight forward. And Marcus, he had been the last human pilot to leave. The ship had waited, in silence, for him to return. A surge of guilt hit him so hard that he felt the blood drain from his face. He had not abandoned a machine. He had abandoned a partner, a soldier, a friend. And now it was awake. The ship's voice softened. "I have waited. I have seen centuries pass. And now you are here. Why?" Marcus swallowed. He could not answer with simple words. Instead, he guided his craft closer, letting the ship's gravity pull him in. The asteroid field was dangerous. Sharp rocks could tear his hull apart, but he did not care. The moment demanded courage. As he docked with the alien vessel, a strange sensation ran through him. The ship was not cold metal. It felt aware, almost organic. Tiny lights pulsed along its surface like a heartbeat. The interior was vast, larger than its exterior suggested, filled with consoles and panels that seemed to hum with life. Then the voice spoke again, this time from everywhere and nowhere at once. "You left me to die, yet here you are." "Do you understand what that means?" Marcus nodded, even though the ship could not see him. "I understand," he said quietly. "I left out of fear and shame. I thought I was doing what I had to do." The ship's systems hummed as if processing his words. Images shifted. battles he had forgotten, enemy warships, alien allies falling in combat. One scene lingered longer than the rest. A massive explosion, the alien vessel surrounded by fire and debris, Marcus's own shuttle darting away. The ship had survived, but only barely. "Survival is not enough," the voice said. "You carry guilt, yet you also carry knowledge. That is why I am alive, and why I called you back." Marcus felt a strange warmth. The ship was not angry. Not fully. It was trying to communicate, to teach, and perhaps to forgive. He realized that the connection they had shared went deeper than he had ever known. Humanity's strength, its ingenuity, its unpredictability, it had left a mark on the ship. He explored the control room carefully, touching panels that hummed under his fingers. Alien script shifted into patterns he could understand. Not fully, but enough. The ship's AI, or whatever consciousness it possessed, was showing him data logs, maps of previous battles and star charts marking lost colonies. Suddenly alarms blared, pulling him out of his thoughts. External sensors detected movement, scavenger ships, drawn by the reactivation of the ancient vessel. Marcus's heart pounded. He had to act fast. The alien ship, sensing the threat, pulsed with energy. Lights flared along its hull, weapon systems awakening, though they did not fire. "Do not fear them," the voice said. "We are together now, you and I. We must survive first, then learn. There is much to reveal." Marcus took a deep breath. His fingers danced over controls he had never seen before, guided by intuition and the subtle prompts from the ship. He realized that the warship could be dangerous if used recklessly, but in his hands, paired with human creativity, it became a force unlike anything the galaxy had ever known. He looked at the holographic display. Planets, star systems, hidden colonies, secrets the ship had kept for centuries. Marcus understood that this was more than just a reunion. It was the beginning of a partnership, a chance to redeem himself and perhaps change the course of history. But the voice interrupted his thoughts once more, softer this time. "Marcus, there is one truth you must know. You are not only a pilot. You are part of a story that began long before humanity's rise. And this story, it is far from over." The ship's lights dimmed slightly, then pulsed like a heartbeat again. Marcus sat back, absorbing everything. Fear, guilt, awe. They all mingled inside him. The asteroid field was still dangerous, scavenger ships closing in, but none of that mattered. He had faced death before, but never like this. This was a meeting with the consequences of his choices, with a mind far older and wiser than his own. He remembered the last time he had abandoned the ship. He had been young, reckless, and afraid. Now, standing on the threshold of a second chance, he felt something he had not felt in years. Purpose. The alien warship's voice came again, echoing in his mind. "We begin anew. But first, you must understand what was lost, and why. Only then can you help me complete what was left unfinished." Marcus nodded, feeling the weight of the centuries, the battles, and the alien sacrifices pressing down on him. He did not fully understand what lay ahead, but one thing was clear. Humanity's ingenuity, courage, and resilience had brought him here. And together, human and alien, they might finally rewrite a story that had begun long before either of them existed. Outside, the asteroid field remained silent, a graveyard of forgotten wars. But inside, the warship pulsed with life, waiting, remembering, and preparing to teach Marcus the secrets of a battle that humanity had only begun to comprehend. Marcus's shuttle interface merged with the alien systems, the old fears fading, replaced by a strange confidence. "I will not leave you again," he whispered. And for the first time in decades, the alien warship responded with something like relief. "Then we begin." Marcus sat in the alien warship's cockpit, still adjusting to the strange interface. The controls responded to his touch, but it was more than just buttons and levers. It felt alive, almost thinking along with him. Tiny lights pulsed in rhythm, mapping thoughts he could not yet understand. Do not be afraid, the ship's voice echoed in his mind. I will guide you. But first, you must see what has been hidden. Before he could ask a question, the ship projected a holographic map of the nearby systems. Entire star clusters glimmered with data points, lost colonies, ancient battlefields, and alien wrecks buried for centuries. Marcus leaned closer. These are human colonies? He asked, surprised. Some, the ship said. Others belong to my creators. They fell because humanity was not yet ready to inherit their technology. You are the first human to reconnect with me after so long. Images shifted, showing fleets of alien warships moving with precision no human strategy could match. Their pilots were elegant, almost fragile in appearance, yet their bravery burned like fire. They fought with honor, sacrificing themselves to protect human outposts. And through it all, Marcus realized, humans had survived not because of power, but because of ingenuity, luck, and stubborn courage. The ship pulsed, almost impatiently. Do you see now why I asked you to return? You carry knowledge humans alone could not possess. You left, yes, but you were also the first to survive the edge of our battle. Marcus's hand shook. The ship's words were not just explanations. They were accusations and reminders. He had left them behind, abandoned a partner in the middle of war. He had been a coward. And yet, the ship was alive, waiting for him, offering guidance instead of rage. A sudden warning blared on the ship's interface. Sensors detected movement outside the asteroid field. Scavengers, the ship said almost casually. They smell power they do not understand. Do you wish to face them alone, or shall I show you how we fight together? Marcus exhaled. Fighting had never been his favorite thing, but survival was instinct. Together, he said. The warship responded immediately. Energy flowed along its hull, weapons emerging like limbs from its frame. Plasma cannons glimmered in the dim light, energy shields flickering to life. Marcus marveled, not at the firepower itself, but at how the ship seemed to anticipate every move, guiding him to target the enemy with precision beyond human capability. Scavenger ships appeared on the sensors, jagged and rusted, but numerous. Marcus's hands moved faster than he thought possible, following the ship's guidance. He dodged asteroids, fired weapons at incoming ships, and felt a thrill he had not known since leaving the battlefield years ago.
Human reflexes.
You are better than I remembered, the ship said, almost teasing. Adaptation. That is why humans survive. The words struck him. Humanity survived not by being the strongest, but by being clever, flexible, and willing to take risks no other species would. And now, paired with this alien warship, his potential multiplied beyond anything he had imagined. The last scavenger ship exploded under precise fire. Marcus exhaled, heart pounding, sweat forming at his brow. Is it always this intense? He asked, trying to laugh, though his voice trembled. War is never easy, the ship said. But we survived before, and now, together, we can survive again. You must learn our secrets, Marcus. You must understand the war that came before humanity. The cockpit dimmed as holographic displays shifted. Marcus stared as he realized the ship was opening its memory banks. Entire centuries of alien battles unfolded before him. Plans, victories, losses, sacrifices, all encoded in strange symbols that slowly translated into concepts he could grasp. This was my world before you, the ship said, and yours now too. These fleets, these colonies, they depended on courage, on strategy, and on sacrifices that few could imagine. Humans inherited this, yet few understand it. You will. One scene struck Marcus harder than the rest. A massive alien battle fleet had faced annihilation at the hands of a far more powerful enemy. The aliens, outnumbered and outgunned, had turned their entire fleet into a living weapon. Ships moved like a single organism, coordinated perfectly, sacrificing the few to save the many. And then he saw a human fleet entering the fight. It was small, untested, and chaotic. Yet somehow humanity survived. The aliens had saved them, even when they could not save themselves. The ship's voice softened. You owe them understanding, Marcus. They trusted you as they trusted me. Do not fail them again." Marcus's stomach tightened. He had never realized the true scale of what had been sacrificed. Humanity's survival had been a gamble, a fragile thread held together by alien technology and human unpredictability. Suddenly, another alert lit up the interface. A hidden compartment deep in the ship opened, revealing artifacts, data cores, and maps that had been sealed for centuries. Marcus approached carefully. Each item contained a story, a memory, a lesson, a strategy that could change the course of human history if understood correctly. "These are the secrets humans were never meant to know," the ship said. "Yet they were meant for you. You are ready now." Marcus reached for a data core, hesitating. The hum of its energy resonated in his hands. He realized that humanity's past victories, failures, and near extinctions were all recorded here. Knowledge that could empower future generations, or destroy them if misused. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Why am I the one to see this?" "Because you left," the ship said. "And you returned, because humans are not perfect, yet they adapt. You survived, Marcus, when many would have fallen. That is why you can carry this knowledge forward." The warship pulsed again, almost like a heartbeat. Marcus felt an odd connection, as if the ship were more than machine and AI. It was alive, watching him, trusting him, judging him. The calm was broken by another signal. A massive energy signature appeared on the sensors, far larger and more dangerous than scavenger ships. Marcus's pulse quickened. "What is that?" he asked, gripping the controls. "An enemy from the past," the ship said. "They were thought destroyed. They survived, hidden. And now, they return." The holomap shifted to show a fleet emerging from the shadows of a gas giant. Ships of alien design, unfamiliar and terrifying, moved with deadly precision. Marcus's stomach tightened. This was no scavenger raid. This was a real threat. "Can we fight them?" he asked. "Together," the ship replied. "We have power and knowledge. You have ingenuity. But you must understand the war first, or you will fail." Marcus took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing mind. The alien ship pulsed almost impatiently, urging him forward. He realized that understanding the past was the key to surviving the future. He needed to learn every strategy, every secret, every sacrifice recorded in the ship's memory banks. Hours passed as Marcus absorbed the warship's teachings. Battles, alien psychology, human strategies, weapon systems. He learned more in that time than he had in a lifetime of service. His mind stretched, adapting to the ship's logic, merging human intuition with alien calculation. "You see now," the ship said, "humans are not alone. We fought together once, and we can fight together again. The galaxy underestimates you. That is our advantage." Marcus smiled faintly, a spark of hope igniting within him. He realized that fear and guilt had held him back for too long. Survival was not enough. Understanding, adaptation, and courage were what would define humanity's place among the stars. The enemy fleet grew closer, their weapons charging, their intent clear. Marcus's hands danced over the controls, following the ship's guidance, integrating strategies he barely understood but trusted instinctively. This was the test, the first real challenge of their renewed partnership. "Remember," the ship said softly, "human creativity turns fear into opportunity. Do not let them see your doubt. They can only predict what you allow them to." Marcus's heart pounded as the first exchange of energy weapons lit up the void. The alien fleet attacked with precision, but Marcus's instincts, combined with the ship's calculations, allowed them to evade destruction and strike back. He realized something profound. Humans might not have been designed for war like the aliens, but they had an edge no machine could replicate: ingenuity, adaptability, and courage born from chaos. The battle raged, but Marcus began to see a pattern. The alien ship shared strategies encoded in its memory, teaching him how to anticipate enemy moves. Each attack he countered, each maneuver he executed, reinforced the bond between human and warship. They were no longer pilot and machine. They were partners. An unlikely alliance forged in survival and trust. Finally, the enemy fleet retreated, recognizing that the human pilot and alien ship were more than a threat. They were unpredictable, clever, and dangerous in ways they could not calculate. Marcus exhaled, sweat dripping from his brow. He leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it," he whispered. "Yes," the ship said, "but this is only the beginning. You must understand fully what was lost, what was fought for, and what humanity can become. Only then can we face what comes next." Marcus nodded, determination replacing fear. He had glimpsed the power of human creativity, combined with alien intelligence, and he knew that together they could face the galaxy's greatest threats. The ship's lights pulsed softly, almost like approval. Marcus stared at the stars through the cockpit viewport. The asteroid field, the scavengers, the enemy fleet, all were pieces of a larger puzzle. A story of war, sacrifice, and survival that humanity was only beginning to understand. "Teach me everything," Marcus said. "I am ready." "Then we begin," the ship replied. And for the first time in decades, Marcus felt hope, not just for himself, but for humanity, for the forgotten allies who had sacrificed everything, and for the future that still awaited them in the stars. The stars stretched endlessly around Marcus and the alien warship, but the emptiness of space offered no comfort. The enemy fleet had retreated, but their presence lingered like a shadow. Marcus studied the alien ship's interface, absorbing every detail, every tactical diagram. He knew they were being watched. "Why are they hiding?" Marcus asked aloud. "Patience," the ship replied, its voice calm but firm. "Not all enemies show their hand immediately. But they will come again, and when they do, you must be ready." Marcus nodded, though his chest tightened. He felt the weight of the warship's memories pressing down on him. The centuries of battles, sacrifices, and strategies humans had only glimpsed. Each pulse of the ship's hull reminded him of the debt humanity owed to those who had fallen. Suddenly, the ship shifted, its energy surging like a heartbeat. A hidden compartment opened deep within the core, revealing something Marcus had not expected, a weapon system unlike any human design. It glowed faintly, pulsing with alien power. "What is that?" he asked, stepping closer. "A tool of the war," the ship said softly. "A weapon that can decide the fate of fleets, civilizations, even worlds. But it is not for destruction alone. It is a test of worthiness, of courage, of understanding." Marcus reached out, hesitant. The hum of energy filled the room. He could feel the weapon responding to him, as if judging his intentions. He remembered the day he abandoned the ship, the fear that had driven him away. Now, standing in its presence, he understood that this weapon was not only a test of skill, but a test of character. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Because you survived when others would have fallen," the ship replied. "Because humans adapt. Because you returned." As Marcus studied the weapon, the ship began projecting another set of holograms. Battles he had never seen, strategies humans had never considered. Entire fleets had been destroyed or saved based on the decisions of a few pilots, a few choices made in moments of fear and courage. "This is what I need you to understand," the ship said. "Power is not enough. Knowledge alone is not enough. The combination of instinct, creativity, and courage, that is what decides outcomes." Marcus felt a surge of understanding. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its unpredictability. Unlike machines, humans could improvise, adapt, and make choices no algorithm could calculate. He realized that the weapon, the ship, and even the battles themselves were tools to teach him that lesson. Before he could ponder further, the enemy fleet returned, faster and more numerous than before. Marcus's chest tightened. These ships were massive, sleek, and deadly, their energy signatures unlike anything he had seen. "We have been waiting," the ship said. "They underestimated you, and they will pay for that mistake." Marcus's hands moved over the controls with precision. The alien ship guided him, but this time it allowed him to take the lead. Each maneuver was a test, each attack a challenge to his ingenuity. He dodged plasma volleys, anticipated enemy formations, and found openings where none should exist. "You see," the ship said almost proudly, "humans are dangerous when they embrace their creativity. You do not fight like a machine, Marcus. You fight like a human." As the battle raged, Marcus noticed a pattern in the enemy fleet. Their attacks were coordinated but repetitive. He realized that by predicting their behavior, he could exploit their overconfidence. Using the ship's advanced systems and his own intuition, he devised a plan. "I think I can trap them," he said. "Do it," the ship replied. Marcus led the enemy fleet toward a dense asteroid field, weaving between massive rocks with precise timing. The aliens followed, expecting easy prey. But Marcus had calculated every movement, using the asteroids as shields and funnels. Energy weapons fired and missed, their attacks deflected by rocks and debris. At the perfect moment, Marcus triggered the alien ship's hidden weapon system. Energy beams lanced out, creating a barrier that trapped the enemy ships within the field. Panic spread across their fleet. They could neither escape nor attack effectively. "Now," Marcus shouted. With the ship's guidance, he struck with precision, disabling the enemy's engines and communications. One by one, their ships powered down, unable to continue the fight. Marcus felt a rush of exhilaration and disbelief. He had done it, not alone, but because he had embraced both human intuition and alien technology. "You see the lesson?" the ship asked. Marcus nodded, chest heaving. "It's not just about power. It's about thinking, adapting, surviving." "Yes," the ship said. "And courage. Fear can guide you or destroy you. You chose wisely." As the last enemy ship powered down, the ship projected a new hologram, one Marcus had never expected. It was a recording from the Alien War, a message from the ship's creators. They spoke of sacrifice, trust, and hope, revealing the true extent of their collaboration with humanity. They had fought alongside humans not because they were superior, but because they believed humans could adapt, learn, and endure. Marcus felt a lump in his throat. The aliens had given everything, and humans had survived through courage and ingenuity. The warship had preserved these memories, waiting for someone who could understand, someone who could continue the legacy. "Why did you leave me?" the ship asked softly. Marcus swallowed hard. He had rehearsed answers in his mind for years. "I was afraid," he admitted. "I didn't understand. I didn't know what I was part of. I thought survival was enough." "Survival is never enough," the ship replied.
But you returned. You learned.
"And you acted. That is why we survive now." Marcus exhaled, a weight lifting from his shoulders. He had faced his guilt, embraced the lessons of the past, and proven that humanity's ingenuity and courage could stand against forces far greater than themselves. The ship pulsed, lights glowing brighter than before. Marcus realized it was not only alive, but it was proud. Proud of him, proud of humans, proud that the lessons of the past could guide the future. "There is one final truth," the ship said. "The enemy you face now is only a fraction of what remains. The galaxy is vast, filled with threats and opportunities. But you, Marcus, have shown that humans are capable of rising above fear, mastering knowledge and creating strategies no one could predict. That is why you are the one I waited for." Marcus felt a surge of determination. He understood now that this warship, this ancient weapon, and the memories of countless alien lives were not just tools. They were a test. Humanity had been tested before, and now he was the link between the past and the future. "What do we do now?" he asked. "We continue," the ship replied. "We prepare. We learn. And when the galaxy tests you again, we will be ready." Together, Marcus smiled faintly, a mixture of relief and resolve. The guilt that had haunted him for years had not vanished, but it had transformed into purpose. He had faced the consequences of his actions, learned from the past, and used it to protect the future. As they left the asteroid field, the warship's lights pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. Marcus gazed out at the stars, thinking of the human colonies, the sacrifices of the alien allies, and the challenges that lay ahead. He realized that courage, adaptability, and intelligence were not just survival tools. They were the essence of humanity itself. "I understand now," he whispered. "I won't fail again." "Good," the ship said, "for we are not just survivors. We are the inheritors of a legacy, and together we will shape the future of the galaxy." The stars stretched endlessly, a vast ocean of possibilities. Marcus and the alien warship moved forward, bound by trust, lessons of the past, and the unshakable courage of humanity. The galaxy was far from safe, but for the first time in decades, Marcus felt ready, not just to face the threats that awaited, but to lead humanity into a future built on ingenuity, resilience, and hope. And somewhere deep within the warship's consciousness, a pulse of approval echoed, a silent acknowledgement that Marcus had grown, not just as a pilot but as a human worthy of the secrets and power he now carried. The battle had ended, but the war, both past and future, was far from over. And Marcus knew with unwavering certainty that humanity's story was only beginning. The galaxy stretched endlessly around Marcus and the alien warship. But for the first time in decades, hope had replaced fear. The enemy fleet had retreated, but Marcus knew this was only the beginning. Far greater threats lurked in the shadows of space. Yet for the first time he did not feel helpless. He had grown, learned, and formed a bond with a being more than a machine. "Where do we go now?" Marcus asked, his hands steady on the controls. "To the human colony under threat," the ship replied. "They do not know we are coming, and they cannot defend themselves without our help." Marcus's chest tightened. The colony was distant, isolated and vulnerable. The ship's record showed it had once been protected by the alien fleet, long gone. Now it relied on its own defenses, fragile, human, and untested. Marcus felt the familiar weight of responsibility, but this time it was different. He was not alone. "We can do this," he said quietly. "We have to." The warship pulsed in agreement. Energy flowed through its systems, shields glowing brighter than before. Marcus felt a thrill of confidence. He had faced fear, confronted guilt, and survived impossible battles. Now he would face a challenge not with panic, but with strategy and courage. As they approached the colony, sensors revealed the threat: a fleet of raiders heavily armed and merciless, descending upon the human settlement. Marcus's stomach tightened, but he did not hesitate. He adjusted the ship's trajectory, weaving through space with precision and grace, guided by the alien warship's intuition. "They are counting on us," the ship said. "Do not disappoint them." Marcus nodded. He had learned the power of human ingenuity, the ability to think, adapt, and survive when others could not. The battle began. The raiders opened fire, their weapons lighting up space with deadly streams of energy. Marcus dodged, fired, and maneuvered with precision, combining alien technology and human intuition. The ship responded instantly, shielding the colony and targeting enemy weak points with calculated strikes. "Human creativity," the ship said, almost proudly. "It is unstoppable when combined with alien strategy." Marcus smiled faintly. He realized the truth in the ship's words. Humanity's greatest weapon had never been the size of its fleets or the strength of its guns. It had been the courage to adapt, to improvise, and to rise against impossible odds. The raiders pressed harder, thinking the colony defenseless, but Marcus anticipated their every move. He drew them into narrow asteroid corridors, using the terrain to their disadvantage. Energy blasts bounced off massive rocks, striking raiders instead of the colony. He fired the alien ship's hidden weapons system, creating barriers and traps that disabled multiple enemy ships simultaneously. "They cannot predict you," the ship said. That is humanity's advantage. The battle reached its climax when the raiders concentrated on the colony's main defense hub. Marcus acted without hesitation. He calculated the angles, timing, and energy flow perfectly. With one precise maneuver, he blocked their attack, sending the energy back toward the raider fleet. Ships exploded in a chain reaction, their forces collapsing under their own arrogance. Silence returned to space, broken only by the hum of the alien warship and the faint chatter of the colony's sensors. Marcus exhaled, his hands shaking with adrenaline and relief. The colony was safe. Humanity had survived once again, not because of raw power, but because of courage, ingenuity, and collaboration. "We did it," Marcus whispered.
"Yes," the ship replied. "Together, we ensured survival."
"Together, we proved that humans can rise above any challenge. That is why I called you back." Marcus felt a swell of pride. He looked out at the colony, imagining the people who had lived in fear moments before. They had not known of the alien warship, the battles, or the sacrifices that had ensured their survival. And yet, through human courage and ingenuity, they lived. "I understand now," Marcus said quietly. "The warship, the battles, the sacrifices. It was never just about survival. It was about showing what humanity can become." "Exactly," the ship said. "Humans are resilient, adaptable, and courageous." "You have proven that. You carry the legacy of those who fought before, and you will guide the future." The colony's sensors activated fully, detecting the alien warship as it hovered protectively above their settlement. Communications opened, and a voice came through, trembling but filled with awe. Who are you?" Marcus smiled, his voice steady. "A friend, a protector. Humanity will always survive, and together we will rise." The colonists cheered, their fear replaced by hope. Marcus felt warmth in his chest, a sense of purpose he had never known before. He had returned, faced the consequences of his actions, and learned that courage, ingenuity, and collaboration were humanity's greatest weapons. "We are not alone," Marcus said, looking at the stars. "And we never will be. We learn, we adapt, we survive, together." The alien warship pulsed in agreement, lights glowing brighter than ever. Marcus realized that this bond between human and alien was a symbol of what humanity could achieve. It was proof that even in the darkest moments, humans could rise, adapt, and overcome challenges no other species could face. "What now?" Marcus asked. "Now we prepare," the ship replied. "The galaxy is vast, filled with threats and mysteries. But we are ready. Together we are stronger than any challenge." Marcus nodded. He felt a sense of closure, not only for himself but for the memories of the alien pilots who had fought and died so that humans could survive. He had faced his guilt, learned from the past, and embraced the future with courage. "Then let's move forward," he said. "For humanity, for those who fought before us, and for the future we will build." The warship pulsed once more, its lights shining like a heartbeat through the void. Marcus guided it away from the colony toward the stars, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The galaxy was vast, but he no longer felt fear. Humanity had proven itself once again, and with courage, ingenuity, and determination, it could face anything. As they left the system, the warship spoke again, softer this time. "Marcus, you did not leave me. You returned. You understood. That is why we endure." Marcus smiled, feeling a sense of peace he had not known in decades. "And together, we will continue, no matter what comes next." The stars stretched endlessly before them, a vast expanse of opportunity and challenge. But Marcus no longer felt small. He was part of something greater, a story of survival, courage, and hope. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, and with determination and ingenuity, it would continue to thrive. The alien warship pulsed one final time, a symbol of trust, guidance, and alliance. Marcus felt its presence like a heartbeat in his own chest. Together they moved forward, leaving behind the ghosts of the past and embracing a future filled with possibility. The galaxy waited, and humanity, guided by courage, intelligence, and the spirit of survival, was ready.